Yay. Okay, so we're going to change gears. I hope that you brought your journals and your colorful pens. If you saw that in the email that I sent out today, and you're welcome to reach for those. I'm sure Dewi will also give us an opportunity, but I am really excited to have you here today with me, sister. Dewi and I know each other pretty well. We hold sister space in a mastermind together, and I think what I've always loved about you, like if I was to put you in one sentence, it's using creation for the new paradigm, right? That's my words for it. But you're so grounded in what your purpose is and what your mission is, and I really love that. And so that's really also why I wanted you to be here today, because we learn to tap into the soul purpose, and that's all we need, right? We just need this anchor, and that's where we build from. So thank you so much for being here. So wonderful to have you.
Yay, my absolute pleasure. I'm delighted to be a part of this transmission and co-creation. That's really to me where the New Earth prophecy brings us, is in circle together. So such an honor to be here with each of you. And I just love you so much, Shirley. Your work is profound. Thank you for what you're doing on the planet.
Thank you. Beautiful. Great. Well, I'm going to give you a formal introduction. Dewi Maile Lim. She's here to midwife a new paradigm, one where Gaia and humanity rise together in luminous co-creative leadership. She's an evolutionary strategist to paradigm-shifting transformational leaders who are on a mission to architect new Earth ways of being, seeing, relating, and thriving on planet Earth. Since 2010, Dewi has collaborated with, advised, and coached some of the world's most prolific agents of change within their online movements. Her flavor of liberation is midwife through the magic of creativity and soulful exploration of the arts. She welcomes you to join New Earth Luminary, her free online community full of vibrant, way-showing women, medicine carriers, and creative visionaries from around the world. Beautiful. Yay. Welcome, sister.
Yay.
Amazing. So, where I would really love to start is I'd love to start a little bit about maybe one or two pivotal moments in your journey, especially given this context of we're really being called forward in this prophecy timeline. We're really shifting into more collective co-creation. What have been one or two pivotal moments that for you were like, okay, wow, I really know that this creativity is my expression for my work in the new paradigm?
Beautiful. So, wow, creativity has been a theme for me my entire life. And it's one of those weaving themes that has had touch points, many touch points. And as a little girl, that was the thing that I loved the most, was art making. And I also loved being on stages and being connecting with other girls around the world. So that has been a theme for me as well since I was little. And when I was younger, my creative explorations were actually very left brain, because I studied under a Chinese brush painter, a master Chinese brush painter from China who lived here in Hawaii, where I'm from. And her method and style was finding a picture in a book and taking that photo. Usually it was of a flower that I chose, and replicating it exactly, like blowing it up and like making it larger onto the silk. And then you would layer on the color, and basically whatever the photo looked like, or the picture of the painting in the book, is what my piece would look like. So I learned how, with the skill of like the masters, how to draw what I saw from a book. And I was a very reference oriented artist. And so it wasn't until 2018, fast forward decades later, that I and I majored in art in college, mind you, too. So I have kept it with me. But again, it was still more, and it was more expansive in college. I was introduced to other modalities. But it wasn't until I met one of my teachers, Sophia, in 2018, or actually I had met her before that. But and another friend, Amber Kuile Mailani Bonici, this is my intentional creativity lineage sisters, that I was able to go more into the soul realm with my expression and my art. And up until then, I still was looking at reference images and, looking outside of myself for the inspiration. I could mix color, I could do all the skilled things with art. I didn't really feel free in my soul with it. And so it was through that meeting of these other sisters who have become teachers of mine and way showers for my own path that I had this whole new awareness. And I had already been doing spiritual work and connecting deeply with my soul, and was on my track to get my second master's degree in divinity. So I was that piece, my spiritual side had already come fully online. The unlocking really of it all together has been through rediscovering myself and having a way for my soul self to express through the canvas and to take whatever I'm composting. I love that you brought that word in earlier today, because I've been using that as well, to the canvas. All of the, everything can come to the canvas. And I've learned a method that allows me to work with anyone that, even if you feel completely green with the paintbrush or received some programming around, like, I'm not creative in that sense when you were little. That's true for a lot of people that have trauma around being told their voice didn't sound good or their art looked bad, or, that's a big one for kids, and then they turn off that natural inclination and desire to want to connect with their spirit and soul and express in that way. So this method that I've learned and used now in my work has become a way for anyone who has a desire to be on that edge of the unknown through the magical, creative vortex of a blank canvas to express themselves and have a deep connection, and then come out on the other side with a painting that is completely soul-led, and an aspect of themselves emerges that they can dialogue with as an oracle. It's really powerful. I call them painting vision quests. So yeah, and then, in my everyday work now, even more so than ever, I am using creativity in small ways with the pad and paper and colorful markers. You don't need to get an easel and paint if you don't want to, but there's like simple, fun little exercises that I have found now that to me really are the crux of what I believe we as way showers and new earth grid workers and those of us who they came here for these times. We need to allow ourselves to go into that imaginal realm to pull ourselves forward into what's next, because we're not going to co-create this new earth paradigm from the old way. So it really does behoove us to allow ourselves to explore and, get some pens if you don't already own some, and a sketchbook, and to see what comes forward through creative practice. So yeah, that's my weaving up until now, and it's coming even more fully online for me as like for a leadership practice, really.
Beautiful. That's wonderful, Dewi. And I'm smiling inside myself as you're sharing, because I know a couple of people who are present, and I know some of them are using soul art, and some of them are musical, and they use their creative gifts, right? And I think what you're bringing is this beautiful bridge of, I'm a creative person, and this is how I've always been, and I might have even been trained creatively, to, okay, how do I start to bridge that into the soul speaking through me, and my work starting to speak not even just for me but for other soul lineages, and really using the creative voice as the soul voice. And that, that's what I hear you saying, even bringing it into leadership. So yay, that's the expansion, I feel like, is new paradigm creativity, right?
Totally. Yeah. And we can't create from the way, the Einstein quote, keep doing on repeating the same ways of being and the patterns that the paradigms we've done before is just insane. That's the definition of insanity. So this really does have, it's like a way to have, like, bring the humanness as well of your experience into what you're, it's a way to process really and move through. And it's somatic as well, because when I like to think of like our heart and our our chest area, that's from where our arms extend. So when we use our hands to create, it's actually an extension of the heart. And so it allows us, even though I was very heady up until then with my art, now I see it as this complete heart expression field.
Beautiful. It's like it's your multidimensional soul is expressing through your creativity. It's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Amazing. And so as there are, in the context of us being with way showers who are stepping into new parts of mission, and so who are, coming into new alignment, starting to learn new soul voice, different ways, different ways of being, how would you sort of lead somebody across this bridge? What do you feel is important for them to know right now if they're going to use their creativity to unlock their soul voice?
Yeah. So what's coming up for me around this piece is, and I believe it was mentioned yesterday in session or recently in the field for me, just as it's important for us to purify and detoxify and make space in our physical bodies for what we are availing ourselves to in terms of this soul alignment that you spoke of this morning. And there is, that could be what's being called for, is like creating physical space, because these insights are coming at quantum speed. And so it's like, holding the frequency and capacity within our bodies is important. I feel like the same thing is being called for in terms of taking our ideas and what's coming forward as these visions to paper, to actually iterate them, not just using AI if you use AI, but iterate them using those things that we used to do when we were little, pens, pad of paper, and to make conscious and deliberate space for the creative process. And so that is really where I'm taking people now. I have a membership called Creatrix Crew, that it's like a rebirth container from something I started years ago that was called Sovereign Creatrix. So this piece of sovereignty really comes through. And that is also one of these key codes, right? The sovereign self in the midst of all of this cosmic and earth, and disinformation, misinformation, what's true, what's so. Well, that alignment, discernment, returning back into center, like that is our practice. And there's lots of ways that we can do that. And I love how you brought us into that today, Shirley. And so, yeah, it's really this energetic, that like the two words that are coming forward are resilience and receptivity and resilience. And so the way, there's practices we can use to bring ourselves into greater receptivity to this information, like moment to moment, right? And then the resilience piece is also crucial, and that does bring the body and our energetic well-being into the fray, because if we're not able to serve or, hear what the next step is, and then go out and physically create that or act on that, then if our bodies aren't in that receptive place and in that place of regeneration and rebirth and like action from there, then there's only so far we can go with our sacred mission work. And so it's really about allowing ourselves for me to get more into the imaginal realm with creativity as a tool for me. And so that's what's coming forward to share, that this in this now moment is, how do we use our everyday moments, like our conscious waking life and even the dream time too, to support everything in our world now, to support this sacred mission work that we're here to do. Like everything is happening for us to remind us that that's what we're doing here. It's like that meta, right? Meta, micro, like here we are, and then we're doing it together in community as well, which is to me also a key piece, the community aspect of things. So dear to my heart.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. I love your resilience and receptivity. And I think I just kind of want to hone on that because, in my language, that's also, there's a masculine and feminine aspect to that, which I love. There's a marriage between those things. And there's also this feeling of like, I think the one thing that hampers our creativity, right, is our consumption. This training in the matrix of being consumed and giving away that energy and looking outside of ourselves, right? And so it's this bridge of becoming resilient to take your energy back from consuming, right? And then becoming receptive to create with your own energy, right? I'm stepping into my own sovereign creation. And that's what I really feel is a strong bridge underneath everything you're saying. And it even speaks to me. It's like, well, where are you being creative? And it doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be beautiful, but it's like, where are you reaching that higher soul frequency and just letting it flow in creativity? Because that's another version of that voice, right? It's another version of already receiving this high frequency and literally anchoring it in this realm.
Wow, it's so beautiful what you're sharing. Yeah. And what came forward as you're moving your arms from that heart space is soul artistry, like becoming a soul artist. And so that's going to be, the information is going to be unique to us and it's like all the things that led us up into this now moment. Like I wove us in earlier with like all the art pieces, how it's become more and more soul aligned for me, how I had to experience it from almost a place of disconnect, even though I always loved it and it always brought me joy. I didn't unlock it fully. I didn't have that access yet. And this is about access as well. And that's where the receptivity comes in. So it's like, okay, here I am. I'm unveiling myself to what the messages, the codes, how I'm meant to navigate. And maybe it's even simply to be. And so even if we never shared our creations with anyone else, which I feel like all of us as way showers, that probably wouldn't be the case, but you can hold the frequency and yeah. Yeah, we can, it starts from the beingness place. And it's for us just as much, or maybe even more so than it is for others. So we have our own unique, like we are the medicine to our own experience. Yeah, but that soul artistry thing that just came through, that feels really fun to play with even more, maybe going forward.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And I just love how you're bringing it into soul, because that's also about this flow of life force that is just flowing through us, expressing through us. And I saw Sherry said they're living alchemy, and that's what it is, right? It's the alchemy of the soul. It's the alchemy of the experience expressing through the heart.
Yeah.
So, beautiful.
Yeah. And something else you said, the consumerism piece, or being a consumer, that has been a mantra for me, to create more than I consume. And so just framing the artistry piece around your life, like trying that on for size, like, oh, what, how am I an artist in my life? And unraveling some of those ideas of what it means to be creative or what it means to be an artist, because all of us are creators. So it's really reclaiming that word for ourselves, if it resonates with you and if you feel it would serve you. And maybe it is the soul artist identity that you can play with and be in alignment with, because it's really, that's another thing too that can happen as we I've found with mark making and art making and getting into more of a liminal space with the process of ideating and being in that iterative kind of creation space. Yeah, that there can be a real, it's like, that's the path. The process is the path. Being in, that's you're in creation mode there, even if it's not something that's like a produced piece. What's on the other side of that is your expression, like it wasn't there before, and now you have this visual reminder. It's like a key code in visual 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional form, where you can reference it and have it be something you dialogue with and have a relationship with, and have it be, your code. You created this code. Amazing. So it's really fun because, it's like brings more beauty. And that's another theme that I work with, is walking the beauty way, which is a Native American First Nations concept. And that's really about this earth experience we're in. Like, what a phenomenal planet, what a beautiful, such a multidimensional expression of like beauty in all of the nature spaces and soul sit spots that we go to, where we can reflect on the beauty that we are, as each of us as flowers. I like to use the metaphor of like each of us is a flower, and we're on our journey to blossoming, fully in this life. And so it's just, we can co-create beauty in, a flower arrangement we make, or, just even by noticing the first signs of spring. I love when the rebirth happens. It's always kind of happening here in Hawaii, but I have been in climates and places where there is that like noticeable spring. And I remember my first time I saw the little leaves coming back, like the bud leaves coming back on the trees after a barren winter. And it just brought so much joy to my heart. Like I literally was giddy seeing the new life come back. And so we can look to nature for that inspiration and the reminder, even if we are in taking on the season analogy, a winter with our work, or, we're really in a listening space. And it doesn't have to necessarily coincide with, your part or region of the world necessarily. You can have a winter in your life when, any time of the year, really,
or for a day, maybe, or you're more inside yourself and it's not flowing in the same way. It's more listening. Absolutely.
Yeah, like looking at it as seasonal, for now, not forever. There's nothing like that binds us to that, and also to not judge it or make it wrong. But yeah, to really mine the full juice that's available in any of these seasons we're in, and really look to nature for that inspiration. And something that came through yesterday is like, no matter what dissolves in terms of the outer structures and institutions and paradigms, because we are seeing this disillusion happening, right? On a lot of different levels, and who knows what else is going to happen, right? It's like eating popcorn. No matter what, the elements are always going to be here: earth, air, fire, water, so that's really what I've been returning to as kind of this something that I can find comfort in. Like, okay, what do the elements have to say to me? Because I know the elements aren't going to go away. So that's been coming more forward in my work too, is just these simple, beautiful gifts of elemental relation, to look towards that for insight and inspiration.
Beautiful. I love that. That's beautiful, sister. And I think that elemental part is really important because that's also the bridge to soul, right? And so yeah, it's just all of this for me is this, it's a beautiful, I feel like it's a beautiful birthing portal that you're talking about, that people walk through, where it's like I start with my own creativity, you know, maybe I'm reclaiming parts of my essence because of how I was as a child and how I felt about creativity. But as I expand into that, I'm really starting to step beyond into the unseen realms, and I'm starting to receive the codes and the frequency. And then it starts to feel like, oh, actually, this is part of my leadership tool of myself. This is part of my vision of how I lead myself, because I can express it. It's like bypass my mind and I can express the codes, and so I can receive a higher frequency and let it flow through me, which is just amazing. Amazing.
So beautiful.
I get it. I totally get it. It's so funny. I've seen your work from various different angles, but today I'm like, okay, it's really landing for me. It's like I see this as this beautiful birthing portal to cosmic soul, to leadership, to magic, to why it's so important in the new paradigm. So bless you for bringing
yes. Yeah, thank you so much. And it is emergent in that way. Like that's what I'm also seeing for us, is to be able to be in spaces like this is so important right now, where we can share the what's moment to moment emerging, this synthesis, what you just did, Shirley, what you are, who you are, how you be, and how we all are, we affect each other in the field. And so that's something else I wanted to weave in here today, is that we are informing the prophecies as much as they inform us. So it really is this dynamic place right now of being, availing ourselves to what's emerging. And that is what that soul alignment has to be, right? A moment to moment listening, attuning, and that can feel disorienting and bring up fear, you know, when we're so entrained in this like 3D reliance. You know, you're talking about the job example earlier. And so it's like, you know, coming to the place inside of ourselves where soul feels safe and creation feels safe, and trust. It's another real key energetic quality, that trust, you know. And that does have to come through when, you know, I'm leading people through a step-by-step process. They have no idea what's on the other side. I don't reveal steps before. And it's not like, you know, in a paint and sip kind of environment where it's like, oh, here's the turtle on the beach and the palm tree, and you're going to, by the end of this paint and sip experience, you're going to have a turtle and a beach and a palm tree, and it's going to be the same colors and the same, you know, composition. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. We're not voice. No, it's not going to be that same. That can be fun. Don't get me wrong. That can be fun. But it's amazing for me to see at the end of a painting vision quest that I've led, how different the expressions of each person's journey has kind of outputted for them. And they have all gone through their own soul journey of remembrance and becoming through that. That's completely unique, even though the prompts have been the same. So that's, you know, what's available to us now. And that's the trust that's required, that, you know, I have the codes, you have the codes, we each have the codes that are all these like puzzle pieces that are coming together now. And so, yeah, just thank you for calling this space, Shirley, so that we can recognize that in each other.
Beautiful. Thank you, sister. Yeah, it's so important, right? We're learning in collective, we're walking each other home, and our souls are interacting in this higher soul space just by us being here. So I absolutely feel you, and I really I just really, really feel how anchored this medicine is, sister. So thank you, thank you. And I would love, I know you're going to take us through an activation, some creative activation. So shall we dive in? Are you ready?
Yes, yes. So this is going to be a fun exploratory process. And you can take out a journal or a notepad, whatever you have. I have a sketchbook here for this. See you later. And just inviting you now to, if you have any inner critic that could be present or might be like sitting somewhere in the field with you, if you could just give him or her or them like something to just hold on to, like give them a little love offering right now, and just say, I'm here to fully express and explore in this experience. And if they have something to say along the way, or if there's skepticism or a judgment that comes up, just bring yourself back to presence. And that voice, by the way, and that the one who would censor ourselves or critique our creations, we can bring them along, actually, and they can become part of the oracle within. There's a transmutation and an alignment that can happen. So just taking a moment now to close our eyes. I'm going to lead us on a little guided journey and just settle into observer consciousness. And I want and invite you now to witness, as in the form of a seed, like a little seed of a plant, the seed of your sacred mission. And this is that knowing that came even before perhaps this incarnation. This is where you are encoded in your spiritual DNA through the form of this seed with what's going to become your life up until now as you grow and germinate and surface. So right now we're in this period of dormancy as this seed. We're underground and we're preparing to come into that fullness of our beingness, still in that seed form. So notice the soil around you. It's like almost like a womb space. It's dark, it's damp and warm. And you notice all around you, there's a network of other seeds, all in their own space and yet connected. And a flash of light happens, and you're now a tender green shoot, and you're breaking through the soil. And you can envision this of like breaking through the soil of the old, of the past. It's a rebirth moment. You're now in an activated state and you're starting to emerge. And you can think about in your life experience now where you recognize that you were being called to something, to grow and stretch like this little seed, to engage your courage to reach maybe further or higher in a different way than that the place you came from, in a new way, to stand out, the courage to grow despite your upbringing or conditions or variables that were maybe in your home environment as a child. And so now we're moving through the timeline and we're starting to strengthen our stalk, the stalk of this central column, this channel, rooted and connected in the earth. And then we're starting to reach for the heavens. And as this strong stem that you are is developing, you're drawing nutrients both from the earth and sky. So the elementals are fully actively engaged in your growth experience. You're attuned to the sunlight. You're receiving the quenching plasma codes of the water through the rain. And then you're building your foundation on this earth and you're rooting in further. Your roots have grown even stronger. And so this is that bridge space of you between heaven and earth now, as this stalk, as this beautiful strengthening being. And now there's a shift in energy and frequency, and energy is going towards one of your leaf structures. You're extending out, you have leaves now, and you feel a bud forming. This is a bud that's pregnant with potential, and it is preparing itself to be revealed. So just like a spring rebirth moment where you see the new life coming back, and it's like that anticipation moment where you're so excited for the possibility and the potential. There's like a giddiness of delight and wonder and awe. What is going to be expressed through that bud? And this is the final preparation phase that many of us here are on right now, bringing it into the current moment, where we're sensing the immenseness of the magnitude of what wants to emerge through us. And this is where that final thoughts of not ready yet fall away. It's like that Anais Nin quote: the day came when the risk to remain tight in the bud was more painful than the risk that it took to blossom. And this fulcrum point and climax happens, and you witnessing yourself now blooming unapologetically in full radiant boldness. You're undeniably beautiful. There is no censoring of your unfurling, amazing creation as a flower that you are. And this is where your unique medicine is fully expressed and being shared and fully on display. Your fragrance is wafting through the air and contributing to this beautiful beauty way experience. And others are noticing. And this is where we're just naturally outputting and leading from a place of overflow. You've moved beyond that tension point of the bud, still in kind of hibernation, almost like a butterfly still in the cocoon. And your presence itself has now become the teaching and the healing and the code, just by you being in the fullness of who you are and your beautiful expression as soul incarnated here now on the planet as this flower that you are. That is more than enough. Your presence is more than enough. And so now, just to start to bring this visualization to a close, think about and reflect on your experience in this journey from seed to fully blossom, and consider what era you most resonated with, which era of the flower cycle. And which era are you in now? And which era do you choose to be in? Do you choose to be in your blossoming era? Do you choose to allow your flower to be seen and experienced for the beauty that it is? that you are. And just consider now, as we come to a close, how does witnessing yourself as a flower in nature change your relationship and your way of being with this idea of visibility and impact? So just taking a moment now to breathe in and out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And this is where I'm going to invite you now to just take a moment and to bring pen to paper. If you don't have that, you can always revisit this recording and come back to the experience. But we're going to now draw, and just draw what you saw. Let yourself be loose and free, and sometimes drawing with your non-dominant hand can really be freeing and liberating. Even for me as an artist, when I've drawn with my right, I'm left-handed. When I've drawn with my right, it's been like mind-blowing what's come through. So if you would like to take the extra challenge of drawing with your non-dominant hand, please do. Just let yourself create that unique blossom, that flower that you are, from seed to roots to stem to petals. And sometimes I like to actually draw like the ground of the earth. If you have space for that on your page, like I'll draw an earth field so that there's like this fertile soil place for me to bloom from and seed and root from. So then you have that field of the underground present too. You're honoring the earth there. And so you can draw symbols, words, or colors that represent this experience for you. We don't have a lot of time, but this is some of the types of prompts that I give through my work. So just taking a moment now to see what comes forward. And some of you might have a specific flower that you really resonate with. So that might be the one you're wanting to represent here, or maybe it's a new flower code that's coming online for you. So we'll just take another few moments to draw and doodle and give yourself the gift of unattached, no agenda, creative exploration. And if you'd like, and if you have space, your flower petals can actually be some of the ways that you uniquely express your gifts. So if you would like to label the petals and give them qualities or aspects of your specific medicine and the gifts that you're aware of, that you're cognizant of, give them each a petal so that you're able to see your unique medicine and how you express in this form of a flower. And then if you haven't drawn any leaves yet, if you have space for it, you can draw. This is always an invitation. So, use your sovereign discernment here. You can draw 2 leaves kind of extending out as if they're like your arms. We talked about earlier, like your heart space and your arms are extending out. So it's like you in receptive flow, you in receptivity to your own brilliance, your own gifts. And then also it's like a calling, an invitation to the others who you're meant to gather, who you're meant to serve with your specific beautiful flower essence that you are. So Shirley, I just want to be mindful of time and bring us back in a moment.
Perfect. Thank you,
We,
Dewi.
can transition whenever you need, whenever
Beautiful.
we need to. We're
beautiful.
Yeah.
I was deep in that. Thank you. I love
I
this.
know. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not ready to come out of my creative zone here.
So hopefully you're all in your creative zone and you're like getting these layers of messages from your soul about, I don't know. I'll share. I was like,
Okay,
I feel like my plant has grown so big before I was blossoming. I was having this kind of inner dialogue of like, why are you making such a big plant? And then when it was like the blossom, it was like, but it still feels like a bud. And it's like this sort of little inner dialogue with myself of like, are you going to blossom? Are you just going to allow yourself to blossom? Are you going to allow this magic of every flower is beautiful and every flower is unique? And that's what it's about. So I was having a deep inner dialogue whilst I was drawing my flowers. So that's what I feel the medicine is about, right?
So beautiful. And you can dialogue with your flower, like literally as like a parts work type of an experience. So it's like, okay, here I am as flower. Like, what do you tell me? Show me, please. Like, what's the medicine here? What is this piece about, like the stalk being so long and flourishing, and then then there's this little bud, and it's like, okay, what magic is here, what medicine is here for me with this? Tell me what you have to show me. And then you can also say show me or tell me as you draw. It's like a metacognitive thing, like as you're moving the pen or the paintbrush, show me, tell me, and like let it reveal to you through mark making.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you, Dewi. Wow. Amazing. I really see that bridge of art moving beyond therapy and moving beyond just creativity and moving into this amazing leadership soul voice tool. And that's wonderful. So yay. Thank you. Okay.
You're so welcome. I love seeing Eva with her pens. I just got to mention Eva. I love seeing her pens right front and center. It's so fun.
Totally.
Oh, what you got there,
She's
girl?
going to show your art. Beautiful.
Yay!
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I love it. It's amazing. A heart flower. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, so I do just kind of want to bring it all back together. We're going to give a little bit of opportunity for sharing and questions, which I would love to do. I also want to drop in, if anybody wants to join Dewi's community, she's got a beautiful free gift. Shall I head to the free gift, or do you want to say something, sister, before I do that? You say anything?
Well, I have a couple of free gifts right now. I have one that we can share first, which is the Sovereign Queen gift. Yes. Is that the one you were thinking of?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the Sovereign Queen is a 13-minute guided journey to really connect with this aspect of self. Thinking of the metaphor of a chess game and how the queen, if you've played chess, is like, to me, it represents the most free and sovereign piece, because she can move, laterally, horizontally, diagonally, and so it's using this concept of the queen's sovereign creative movement and power within our own leadership. So it's something you can listen to if you're anytime you want to be in an expansive place with your leadership. And so that's one of my gifts. And then I also, and this is just for the sisters in our group, right now, so that one is anyone can join and be a part of that one. I do have, okay, thank you. I do have a very emergent, like happening from now into next week, a sister circle type of experience happening around this idea of creative emergence around our leadership and what's next in our soul mission work. And that's called Creatrix. And so that is something, if you want to have more real-time interaction with me and can make space for that right now in your life and world and have a desire to do that, that's another thing that's happening more in real time. The other one, the Sovereign Queen, you can do whenever you'd like. You can return to it over and over again.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And all links will be in the replays when I send it out. So you'll be able to connect with Dewi and just kind of anchor into her community if that's calling you on that beautiful journey of creativity. Okay, but I would love to hear some voices. I feel like there's going to be some thoughts, questions, reflections from our amazing group. Who would like to raise their voice with a question or a share?
It can also be show and tell.
Can also be
show and
tell.
It
can also be show and tell, totally. Anybody? Smiling. It's like, yes, no. Yes, no. Is this for me or is it for everyone? Milan, go for it, brother.
I can share also. Go for it.
Perfect. Milan and then Kat.
Yeah. So I really appreciate this whole transmission through your interview here. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoy the Chinese master lineage behind you. It's precious. Thank you for this transmission. I'm really enjoying everything with you. And as you referred about your transformation from feeling into the art, I just want to share that I'm experiencing, I feel how the muscles here are connected, are kind of touching the transformation membrane, and then kind of pure physics through the muscles, it's going to the fingers and to the brush, and I see your mastery in it, and I love it. It's all.
Thank you, Milan.
That's amazing. I love that. Beautiful. Amazing. Okay, Kat, sister, beautiful.
Yes, thank you so much. I just want to keep playing. I think it really taps into a very playful, innocent, pure side that's really raw. Um, I was definitely one of those people that grew up with people telling me I'm not creative. So I only opened that part some years ago. I try to play also with the connection to nature and weaving that into the creativity, like in some of the cycles and like with rituals and parts of the year where I'm cutting down the leaves and then I just take that waste and build something with that, or and that make I think that's really great. And I really felt very strongly that bud moment, almost like there was a light. There's so much movement when there's something about to blossom, isn't it? And I tried to recreate that. So I kind of ran downstairs to my daughter's room because she always has brushes and paint and all sorts of stuff everywhere. And so I tried to make something. This is what I made.
Sing.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Sing.
So that was really fun and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So beautiful. I love that
Beautiful.
you use watercolor.
Amazing.
That's my first medium, watercolor, when I did the Chinese brush painting. That's so beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. Amazing.
And Katarina. it's like, that old story is obviously so not true. Look at what you created. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. And I love the water element that is, it's very fun to play with watercolor. I love that medium.
Yeah, and well done for showing us as well. I love it. You owned all of that. It's part of it, right? Story's gone. Amazing. Anybody else like to share? Anybody else with questions?
I'll pop in. Just wrestling with the inner critic, because again, I too drew something. Don't know if it's recognizable, but dandelion was actually
Totally
what was coming. And
Totally.
just life has been lifing lately, and the little signs are always there. Like if we can just notice them, even when we can feel alone, we're never alone. And just like that little dandelion, that's probably one of the most resilient little plant spirits.
Yeah.
It thrives. It doesn't just survive, it thrives no matter its environment. It doesn't matter how many times you cut it down, it'll rise again. And I don't know, I really feel her coming and helping me today. And I just want to say thank you so much for this whole event. It's perfect timing for me. It's balm for my soul, and I'm truly, truly grateful. So much love to you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much for sharing that. See, that's the power of soul coming through, the message from the dandelion. It's amazing. It's level. Earth Oracle. Sherry, go for it, sister.
I just want to say, I want to thank you both for getting me through the biggest transition I've ever been through. And because of your love, your prayers, your lessons, I feel like I'm a new flower that's about just starting to blossom. So thank you so much for everything you guys do. Thank you. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so beautiful. I can't wait to see that blossom. I can't wait to see that flower just go.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you, dear one.
Love you. Thank you. Amazing.
Yay. So much fun. I feel the huge smile on my face. Amanda, Milan, Katerina, Deborah, Sherry, Milan, Suzanne, all of the faces and everyone who I can't see. Just so much love and appreciation for each of you. And Shirley, of course.
Thank you, Dewi. Beautiful. Thank you. I really enjoyed having you with me today. It lifted me for sure. So thank you for being here. And we are in day 2 of our event. We still have 2 more days to go. I mean, we started with this amazing high visioning yesterday. We're in this beautiful creative play space today. So I really want to invite you to keep moving and flowing with us. Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful soul visioning. Actually, it's going to be some of that alignment, but in a different way, right? Jennifer's going to be bringing in these high codes of vision. And then Monique's going to be bringing in this lineage connection to our roots. So you're just going to be expanding. And then on Friday, I've got my sister Alicia going to be joining us. She is an earth grid keeper. She's really stepping up into more earth grid work. So we've still got lots of joy to come for the next couple of days. And I really want to invite you to come and plug back in, get the different flavor, get the flair. And then we will end with a beautiful closing integration ceremony together on Friday. Replays will land in your inbox. We'll have space to revisit everything. So yay. Here's to the rest of the week. Seeing you soon. Yay. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Feel free to unmute and say goodbye. And yeah, we'll touch base soon. Lots of love. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Dewi.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.